That's rather surprising. More than around 200 lists, 200 trains. The list for the 200 trains have already been submitted to the railways, and it is there in waiting list with them. 100% response जाएगा. Already गया हुआ है. It is their style of hiding their own failure and accusing others. It is their style of working. मैं इतना ही कहूँगा, मैं खुद इसमें इन्वॉल्व था. एक अलग काम. मैं आपको एक उदाहरण देता हूँ. पुणे में भोसरी करके शहर है. भोसरी करके एक छोटा सा इलाका है. भोसरी, वहाँ के लोग मुझे फोन करते हैं. उन्होंने की लिस्ट सबमिट की हुई है. 15 दिन से परेशान रहे और उस ट्रेन के लिए मैं पीछे पड़ता रहा. मेरे अधिकारी मुझे बताते रहे वहां से उनकी कंफर्मेशन नहीं आ रही है. जब हम 10 गाड़ी की बात करते हैं तो बिहार कहता है 1 गाड़ी छोड़ो. बिकॉज आई एम परस्यूइंग द मैटर. आई हैव बीन टू द रेलवे yesterday. I met the DRM. I have talked to the concerned officers of the Maharashtra government. Such a good officers are there. They are following the issues and they inform me. They have authentically told me, sir, we are pursuing the matter like anything, but we are not allowed.
पीयूष गोयल जी ने कहा है कि लिस्ट नहीं दी है महाराष्ट्र सरकार ने. क्या ये बात सच है?
नहीं, हमें जो बात सही है जो ट्वीट की है उन्होंने. वी आर वेटिंग फॉर द लिस्ट.
यूजुअली कब तक भेजते हैं लिस्ट सर?
डे टू डे बेसिस पे भेजते हैं. कभी एक दिन एडवांस में भेजते हैं, लेकिन आज नहीं आएंगे.
So there you have it, two separate sets of positions taken by the two opposing parties, in this particular case the Aghadi government and the central government. My colleagues Megha Prasad and Kajal Iyer both with us live right now on the News Hour. Megha, let me start with you. We've had a conversation regarding this before. There seems to be completely two different sets of positions taken by both the central government, the railways in this particular case, and the Aghadi government. However, the last tweet by Mr. Goyal also shed some light on their position. What is he saying in his latest tweet?
So you're right, Athar, absolutely different positions being taken by the rail ministry on one hand and the state government led by Mr. Uddhav Thackeray on the other. Now, the latest tweet in the last 1 hour, actually we've heard from the minister twice. In one statement he says that TV के माध्यम से ये पता चला है कि महाराष्ट्र राज्य की सरकार ने 200 ट्रेनों की लिस्ट, पैसेंजर्स ऑफ 200 ट्रेन्स, उनकी लिस्ट शेयर करी है, पर अभी तक सेंट्रल रेलवे की जीएम के पास कोई भी लिस्ट पहुंची नहीं है. That is one statement of Mr. Piyush Goyal. The other statement, of course, is this, and he's just tweeted minutes back. He says, I hope that the government of Maharashtra will fully cooperate in the efforts made for the benefit of migrant laborers. This tweet has come exactly an hour after he put out the series of tweets where he said that by tomorrow you'll have 125 trains. He was responding to the charge of Uddhav Thackeray today in the afternoon when Uddhav Thackeray said that I've been asking for trains from the center and I'm not getting any help. I'm asking for 80 trains a day. All I get is 40. Now, the Minister for Rail, Mr. Piyush Goyal, has offered 125 trains. Now, in that tweet, he said that I have another 1 hour for you to submit all the details of the passengers and from where to where they need to go. Of course, along with the certification, their names, everything.
Right.
Now, so that we can make arrangements in time. Now, you had Arvind Sawant on our channel claiming that the list has gone for 200 trains. Now, that seems a little difficult to digest at this point in time because the working that we have understood, Athar, of how it goes between the state government and the rail ministry or the central railways or western railways there in Mumbai operating these trains is that it's a day-to-day
Megha, it's interesting also because, and at this point, I want to get in Kajal as well. Megha, apologies for interrupting you here. Kajal, you also spoke to the Central Railways PRO, the Chief PRO, Mr. Sutar, who seems to back what Mr. Goyal had said in his earlier tweet, notwithstanding the fact that Mr. Sawant was very vehement in his denial of the same when he spoke to us just a while ago.
Yes, in fact, the Central Railway is claiming that they have not got any list for today. Usually they get it either on the same day or a day in advance, but they haven't got any list today. And we did try to speak to certain sources in the Maharashtra government also. Now, interestingly, they claim that they have already sent the list. So one doesn't really understand as to where has the list disappeared or vanished, because both of them seem to say that stick to their position. One saying that they have been sent the list, they have sent the list, the other saying they have not received it. So clearly there is a problem with communication, and this we have highlighted over the past week also that which has led to actually the law and order situation that we have seen at some of these railway stations in Maharashtra, especially because several migrants end up coming there and then they realize that either their name is not there on the list or the fact that too many of them have come up and the trains have already left. So there is a problem with communication.
A complete breakdown of communication, it seems. We can only hope that this miscommunication is cleared before these migrants turn up at the railway station tomorrow, or we could see more chaos and confusion there as well. Thank you, Megha, for your inputs on this, and thank you, Kajal, for joining us as well. Moving on to our focus story now. With domestic airline operations all set to resume from airports across all major cities from tomorrow, that's the 25th of May, the new standard operating protocol, or SOPs, have been put in place. The government has issued fresh guidelines that say that asymptomatics will be permitted to go, but with riders. Here are the complete details. In fact, 24 hours just before India takes off, there is massive confusions about the rules and readiness in states, while West Bengal and Tamil Nadu, home to some of the country's busiest airports, have red flagged the centre's plan to restart passenger flights. Several other states like Karnataka, like Assam, Punjab and Jammu and Kashmir, including Andhra, Telangana and Kerala, have made quarantine mandatory for all passengers who would be travelling to these states. Maharashtra, meanwhile, has said it will only operate 25 flights from its airport and all the 25 flights that can come in to Mumbai, but that too not from red zones. As states have raised their concerns, some would say rightly so, the Civil Aviation Minister at the centre, Hardeep Singh Puri, has said that domestic passengers who have a green status on the Arogya Setu app need not be quarantined. But that's the Civil Aviation Minister. The states that I just mentioned right now have really not made their status clear on whether or not these people who could be asymptomatic but have, or have for that matter, a green status on Arogya Setu app, will they be quarantined or not? Here's what Mr. Puri had to say earlier in the day. Take a look.
As per the SOPs, on arrival at their destination, the travelling passengers will have to adhere to such health protocols as are prescribed by the destination state UT. पर मैंने ये भी कहा है कि हम ये भी क्लैरिफाई कर रहे हैं कि अगर किसी के पास आरोग्य सेतु ऐप है and you are, it's like a passport, you are green, why should anybody want any quarantine?
You're watching the News Hour Special Edition, Debate Number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining us tonight on the News Hour Special Edition, Bijon Mishra, consumer rights activist, Captain S.S. Panesar. He's a former pilot and ex-director of flight safety and training. The Indian Airlines joins us live from Gurgaon. Also with us, Jitendra Bhargav, former ED of Air India. Thank you, gentlemen, for being with us. Mr. Bhargav, if I'd like to start with you, if I could, there seems to be still as we speak right now, less than a few hours from where these flights take off and land, there seems to be this situation where certain states are not completely okay with the guidelines issued by the central government. Case in point, of course, being those states who say that no matter what your Arogya Setu app status is, you'll have to go into quarantine. Do you think this is a result really of miscommunication, lack of communication, or perhaps an element of politicking as well? What's your sense of this? Do we have Mr. Bhargav?
Yeah.
If you could hear me, so the question was for you.
Okay, let me.
Yes.
You see, let's put it this way. There is a far more clarity now than there was 3 hours ago. So it's a welcome development. But this was a totally avoidable situation. I wish it had not, the states had been taken on board like they've been taken on board today. There's greater clarity issued by these various states, so that passengers who were buying tickets at certain states, they would have been fully aware on what their travel would be looking like. Let's not forget that these passengers who are going to be using the flights in the next few days are largely comprising of those who have remained stranded for almost 2 months and have thus spent agonizing moments, and they are wanting to get back to the family. Having said this, states do have a point of view. Let's not deny this fact. Each state is going through a certain kind of spikes in the number of coronavirus. like Maharashtra, for example, is having serious constraints with respect to hospital beds, etc. They don't want any further spiking because of the passengers.
You know, at this point, Mr. Bhargav, your point is well taken, sir. And case in point, like you mentioned, Mr. Bhargav, is Maharashtra, which has seen the largest spike really in the recent days of COVID-19 cases. I'd like to put a question to Captain Panesar at this point. Captain Panesar, as Mr. Bhargav has said right now, the states do have a point of view. Some of their apprehensions are quite well put. They are quite valid. But do you think the guidelines that have been prescribed by the central government should have been enough for states to be at ease? Because there are certain states that have a larger number of cases, a bigger spike really. Do you think their apprehensions are well put, or do you think they should just trust the central government's guidelines on this? And if you have an Arogya Setu app, it shows your status is green, there is really no need to quarantine. What's your view?
See, what I feel is when the central government has taken a decision, they must have studied all the things, they must have consulted the virus experts, they are aware of it, and today even the travelling public or even normal person is aware of this coronavirus disease. And if a person has slight indication at home, first of all, he will not go. He will go only when there is an urgency. And the central government, after deciding although it is late, they could have started much earlier. Because there are few things which control the economy of this country: agriculture, industry, and the aviation industry. You can't keep this airline grounded for a long time because aircraft on the ground is a big liability. Earlier we push it, the better it is. Now, coming to this, the government has decided, when central government decides it, I think states should have no objection. Because you mean to say central government is not aware of the situation, what's happening in the different states. They know the status of all the states. And after they are given this directions to start flying, they must have given full thought to the protections and procedures to be adopted.
If I'm not wrong,
all the
the central government must have put enough work here, obviously, because they are apprised of whatever is happening in whichever state here. Bijon Mishra, what's your view on this, given the fact that one of the big sticking points, if I may call it that, was that asymptomatic people can be permitted to go on these flights, and they don't really have to quarantine if they don't show any symptoms here. Do you think that this trust, let's say, in asymptomatic passengers who don't have to go to a quarantine facility in certain states is well put? Can we actually rest assured that people who are asymptomatic will monitor their health for 14 days rigorously, religiously, as they should, as the guidelines mandate?
Athar, if I am an asymptomatic passenger, I won't still not travel. I will not travel as a passenger even if it opens up tomorrow, because I am not clear how I will be treated the once I land there. And the states are responsible because health is a state subject, and the central government should have made sure that they built a consensus with all the states in terms of the SOP. You make an SOP and the state governments deny it. I mean, what is this now? What kind of a governance is this? The central government is one government, it's a federal government, it's a government for the citizens of the country, and the state governments do not want to accept that SOP. That means you conducted an exercise without consulting the state governments. You have to make sure that you build a consensus, you make sure that everybody is on the same page, and then you go ahead and announce in terms of commencement of the flights. If supposing you are doing it for the good of the country, you want that the passengers should travel who have got stranded for more than 60 days at a certain location.
Bijon Mishra, why do you think that is? If in your opinion, Bijon, there had to be far more work being put into these guidelines before they were made public, why do you think there is so much confusion, lack of communication? Is there an element of politicking, as I asked Mr. Bhargav before, behind this lack of communication, even if I may call it breakdown of communication?
Athar is nothing to do with politics. It is a complete issue in terms of efficient governance. You see, what I would tell you that in 60 days of lockdown, they could have started this exercise from day one, because they knew that one day they will have to open up. They had to start that exercise right from day one to ensure that by the time they're ready to fly, all the states are on the same page. Today you don't do that, and then you suddenly decide that all the airlines need to start and commence the business from the 25th of this month, and the passengers are all helter-skelter. They are so harassed, they don't even know how to purchase the ticket because the money which has got blocked when they had the ticket,
okay,
that
taken.
money is not getting
I take your point. Now,
with their
I would
present
like
travel.
to take this point
The
across to
airlines
Mr.
are not
Bhargava
responding.
again. A point taken. Mr. Mishra, point taken. Would you agree with Mr. Mishra here, Jitendra Bhargav, that perhaps this is a lack of, let's say, effective governance on the part of whoever? I don't want to apportion blame here because that's the last thing I want to do right now. But this could have been done in a more nuanced manner. Would you agree with that?
You know, let's put it this way. It was a totally avoidable kind of mess that we landed ourselves in, the uncertainty that got created for the passengers. Even on the Arogya Setu that we are talking about, I would have preferred either ICMR or the Health Ministry to issue a statement that says that green on that instrument on your smartphone would be good enough rather than the Civil Aviation Ministry. There could have been a directive from the Health Ministry to the state government that this would be a valid kind of thing to not to put passengers in quarantine. But let's not forget that when the lockdown 4.0 was extended, it was made abundantly clear that states will decide the various relaxations that they wanted. And if certain states are insisting upon quarantine, I don't think you can fault them, number one. Let's also look at the past. Everyone who has been transported, whether they were students from Kota by bus, migrant labor by trains, the air travelers from abroad on the Vande Bharat scheme, they've all been subjected to quarantine. Why should there be a relaxation, number one? I only wish if the state government had responded earlier and made it abundantly clear that every passenger who's going to be landing in Mumbai or for a matter in any other state will be subjected to quarantine. Many of the passengers wouldn't have ventured and bought a ticket. Now that is where the failure lies. And one only wishes, as I've said earlier, also, let's not overlook the agony that the passengers are going through. There are many passengers among those who booked the tickets who have been stranded for over 2 months. They are wanting to get back.
Fair enough. Speaking
so
of
let's look at it this way, that when people arrive, it is not just a question of being quarantined.
Fair enough.
Even those who are not quarantined, they look at the infrastructure they're going to have.
Okay, fair enough. I want to go across to Captain Panasar on this. Captain Panasar, one can understand what Mr. Bhargav is saying, the fact that these passengers more likely than not are those people who've been stranded for more than a month, maybe 2 months, and they're desperate to get back home. And if all those people, including those who came back under the Vande Bharat program, were in fact subject to quarantine, what's wrong if states like Bengal or Maharashtra or others insist on a quarantine period? There's nothing wrong with that. In a pandemic like this, it's prudent, I would argue, to err on the side of caution rather than anything else.
See, they have a procedure where they can check up immediately after landing whether the passenger has any indications about this disease or not. And if he has it, he will be quarantined depending on the period for 7 days or 10 days. But if I have an emergency, I'm going an emergency, you put me into quarantine, then what's the use of my traveling? Number one, the aircraft flying is maximum flight of 2.5 hours or 2 hours, and they are perfectly safe in this flight. And regarding deciding the SOPs and all that, I have seen this SOP last 1 month. They must have been given to all the states, all the airlines, all the airport authorities and all that. Okay. I think they are very safe and all that. If they get the protective equipment like a mask and gloves and all that for 1 or 2 hours of flight, no contact, no food you are giving, they are very safe in the aircraft.
Okay.
And if I have any
let me, because I have very
arrival,
little time left on this, I want to end with Mr. Mishra on number one. Mr. Mishra, you can first of all take Captain Panasar's point forward, and I also want you to comment very quickly and briefly, because I have very little time left on this. How do you see this playing out? Because as of now, even though as Mr. Bhargav has said, there is more clarity than there was, let's say, a couple of hours ago. Is it still enough, or are we looking at chaos and confusion tomorrow when these flights land? And are we, let's hope to God that's not the case, passengers fighting authorities on the ground about the level of their quarantine and the length of their quarantine?
Yeah, Athar, I only hope, it doesn't get into a confusion tomorrow when it starts. I only hope that the airlines, the airport authority are all able to manage the, procedures well. They don't harass the passengers who arrive there. And I also want to make sure that, the destination airports where the passengers arrive, as very rightly said, that once I take a short flight and I want to reach home, I should be made comfortable.
Right.
So there should be number of people in terms of facilitating the passengers.
Well, let's all hope that whatever little confusion there is somehow dissipates by tomorrow, and we hope that those people to whom these flights really come as succor more than anything else, and they get united with their loved ones. We hope that there is no problem tomorrow. There's our time. Thank you, Mr. Bhargav, for joining us on this short debate, Mr. Bijon Mishra and Captain Panesa. We'll take a very quick break right now. Much more up ahead for you on Times Now. Stay with us.